De eerste jongens en meisjes die door baldadigheid met de politie in aanraking zijn gekomen, worden tegenwoordig op het hoofdbureau ontboden.
Into the mind of the man that knew both killers and victims in over 40 homicide cases in the Amsterdam underworld.
This NBC video used later as evidence in court. A state police helicopter dropped a bomb on.
Give me liberty, give me death, sir. Just me and my mind's burned. You can see the pain in my eyes. And
noise. As that somebody who survived 7 years in jail, I take very serious. Okay, thank you.
They don't want people to wake up to what this system is doing to people.
But if I kill your partner, lethal vaccination. If I kill your dog, I get the same shit.
Welkom bij de Stem van de Straat. Deze week hebben we een aflevering Special Cases, dus hoofdzakelijk in het Engels. En wel waarom, we zijn eigenlijk heel erg trots dat we een groep mensen uit Philadelphia, USA als gast hebben. Die een documentary gemaakt hebben.
Andersom, Steve.
Een documentary. En die heet Pull of Gravity. En die gaat natuurlijk, ja, hoe kan het als anders, over de onderdrukking en vernedering en vervolging van de poor blacks. In deze documentaire over het algemeen in Philadelphia, maar in het algemeen eigenlijk in de hele USA. Eerst even een ander eindtipje krijgen we vooraf. Onze tafelheer Arjan Gelderen was voor ons een reportage gaan maken bij het congres van de eenzaamheid. Zoals jullie wellicht weten is het deze week de week van de eenzaamheid. En hij heeft een kleine reportage gemaakt voor ons. Nou, gaan we nu even naar kijken.
We staan hier voor het stadhuis in Rotterdam, waar vandaag voor het jaarlijks congres plaatsvindt van de eenzaamheid. Ik wil nu eens hier vertegenwoordigen. Wij vinden dat eenzaamheid op vele vlakken te voorkomen valt. En niet met labmiddelen zoals heel veel initiatieven particulier worden ontwikkeld. Ook gisteren weer tijdens de algemene beschouwingen legde niemand de vinger op een zere plek. Dat de bezuinigingen van tafel moeten, de miljarden boekhoudfraudes, alleen al het AOW-fonds wat afgeschaft is in 2012 laat zien dat er heel veel mis is binnen onze samenleving. 50,9 miljard is zomaar verdwenen. We zien ook alle verzorgingshuizen dichtgaan. Mensen kunnen geen komen op omdat woningcorporaties de woning zoveel mogelijk voorkomen. We willen voor een andere samenleving, waar we weer naast elkaar staan en niet tegenover elkaar.
Ik stond net te praten met mevrouw Nel Huber. Kunt u zich even aan mij voorstellen voor de kijkers wat u zo al doet in...
Ik ben Nel Huber, ik ben vrijwilliger geweest in Capelle aan de IJssel. Heb jarenlang in de wijkwinkels gezeten en nu ben ik een lid van de WMO-adviesraad. We geven advies, geen advies aan de burgers, aan de burgemeester en college.
En wat ziet u als eenzaamheid? Wat komt u zo al tegen?
Wat ik uit de wijkwinkels van armoede en eenzaamheid is dat zeker onder de allochtone mensen heel erg veel eenzaamheid is. Ze weten meestal de weg niet. Ze weten ook niet waar ze wezen moeten om formulieren of dergelijke. En ik denk dat het hoog tijd is dat een vergeten groep is, waar heel veel aan gedaan zou kunnen moeten worden.
En zou onze overheid hier wat aan kunnen doen?
Misschien met informatie. Maar ja, er zijn zoveel groepen en instanties die ook de mensen helpen.
En vaak zien de mensen door de boom het bos niet.
Ja, gewoon net als een inloop voor mensen waar ze koffie kunnen drinken, waar ze in Capelle is dat, waar ze dus kunnen eten met elkaar. Dat is ook voor de eenzaamheid. In de kerken kunnen ze zijn. En dat is de belangrijkste groep waar iets aan gedaan moet worden.
Nou, ik hoop dat wij nog het nodige van u gaan horen. Via onze beweging Wil Nu, Kunt Nu. Dank u en we hopen wat meer te gaan horen straks als we naar binnen gaan.
En ik vind het leuk u ontmoet te hebben, want het geeft mij ook weer veel informatie misschien kan ik er iets mee doen.
Oké, hartstikke
Dank u wel.
goed. Bedankt.
Ja, ga verder. Nou jongens, dat was het filmpje van onze tafelheer Arjan van Gelderen. De Amerikanen zijn onderhand een beetje in slaap gevallen. Maar goed, het is niet anders. Dus we gaan nu over tot ons hoofdonderwerp van de uitzending vanavond. En dat is de documentary The Pool of Gravity. Ik heb hem dus al gezien en ik kan het iedereen aanraden om te gaan zien. Wederom, het is natuurlijk een oud verhaal, wat iedereen al kent. De onderdrukking, het vermoorden, de rechteloosheid, het opsluiten van de poor blacks in het bijzonder. Maar ook in hetzelfde, de white trash people, de poor Hispanics. Zeg maar de armen in Amerika, hoe die vervolgd en behandeld worden. We gaan even kijken naar een kleine trailer van de documentary of The Pool of Gravity.
I know it gotta be a bitch for a young dude coming home from jail and all he got is his homies. He's not gonna stay in the house with his parents. You wanna see the world. But the world that we living in right now is like a lot of negativity waiting for you.
You're really coming back to the same things that triggered a lot of the problems that you had. I mean, you're coming back to an area where there's really no job prospects. You know, you're going right back into the narcotic trade because that's the only economy in some of these neighborhoods. That's all that you know.
Nobody don't give a fuck about college, man. You end up owing all them student loans and all that shit. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I'm counting this money, man.
I can say this community is not bad. I can say 85% of these people, if had a chance to do good, they would do good. They don't even got that chance.
A lot of things changed around here, man, 3 years. I had an image like me come home, everybody out there, yo, what up, yo? Wasn't like that, man. I come home, niggas dead, niggas locked, everybody locked up. What happened for a month from now? I ain't got no job. Streets is where I go. That's what I'm forced to do. Like, I gotta hustle hard, man.
I have no need to be out there. I got everything I want right here. Everything that I want is really here. It's just that some of that lifestyle sometimes fools me. I want to get high. Just want to run wild. Just do what the fuck I want to do. Don't want to pay nothing. Don't want to give nothing. You know, matter of fact, I just want to take and keep going and take and keep going.
It's like I'm living a double life. I can be as free as I want to be, man, but when I go step into that parole office, I'm always one step from being a prisoner, being somebody under somebody else's watch. It's hard, man. It's hard to be out here. Hard to be out here and hard to stay out here.
Nou, dit was de documentaire, het trailertje van de documentaire van The Pool of Gravity. En ik ga nu verder in het Engels. Okay guys, welcome to our program. We're very proud to have you here at the Voice of the Street.
Thank you.
And as you might well know, and maybe you already noticed, Amsterdam is one of the last places in Holland which is still multicultural, and we are very proud of that. But also in Amsterdam, we are big forces in the Netherlands who are opposing the multicultural idea. Like it is maybe all over Europe and in the world. You have your Trump, and we got our Le Pen, and we got all kinds of guys like that in the politics who are against this movement, actually from the hippies in the 70s and so on. So if it's okay with you, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself for our viewers, who you are, and what was your part in this documentary.
Hey.
Please.
Who am I? I'm L. Sawyer, and the co-director of this amazing documentary.
Okay, but where did you were born, or where do you live in the States?
I'm in Philadelphia.
And which area you live in Philadelphia?
I'm in North Philadelphia.
Is that a good area or bad area?
It's good to me.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
but
no, it's not.
You know what I mean.
It's North Philly. It's
considered a rough neighborhood?
Very rough.
So you grew up in a rough neighborhood?
I grew up in prison. So
you're kidding?
Yeah.
From which age?
Basically 15. I went to major prison when I was 17. So.
You're kidding?
Mm-hmm.
So you grew up in the rough neighborhoods, then you you went very young to jail, but our view in Europe about American jails is that they are incredible tough.
I'm an incredibly tough guy.
You must be that you survive.
I am.
But can you tell, unless you don't say no, it's too private, can you tell a little bit about your experience so young in an American jail?
It was fucked up. I don't know what else you want to say. Like it was as you can imagine. You know, being, you know, when I went to my long sentence, I did 8 years in prison.
When you were 15 years, they sentenced you?
When I was 15, I did 2 years in juvenile.
And how was juvenile?
It was.
Is it juvenile or is it?
It's juvenile. It's
tough.
No, it's a little bit of both. So it's like it's tough, and then it's really clinical. So it's like you're like begging to not be there and to go to the adult because you're tired of like programming. So
they try to brainwash you there?
Exactly. Yeah.
And train you like a dog.
Or something. I don't know. But
you never find out.
Never found out.
But it didn't help you. Because
No.
after 2 years, you went to jail again.
Right. Within a couple months of being home, I shot somebody and I went to prison for 8 years.
You killed him or you didn't?
I did not kill him. No.
But you had to self-defend you. It was just survival.
It was, yeah. It was a
dog eat dog.
Yeah, dog eat dog.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. I didn't randomly just shoot some random person, obviously,
but hopefully you didn't shoot a white guy, yeah? Because we would be really upset in this program.
I wouldn't be sitting here probably.
No, that's true. But you're right. If you would have shot the white guy, you would have life.
Right, or something.
100%. Or they would have shoot you on the street.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. Yeah.
And now, how are you doing now?
Oh, I'm great. Life is the shit. It's really good.
No, I'm seeing you have a good life. You came out of the ghetto.
Yeah.
Because that's also an accomplishment, in my view.
Oh no, certainly it is an accomplishment. It is an accomplishment. You know, the hood is not like for human consumption, right? The ghetto is not.
The guys who escape, I admire so much. Survive, don't get killed,
right?
And get a future. It's almost an impossible thing.
It is exactly that, right? I think it is almost impossible, especially coming from prison and stuff. And
yeah, because I understand. For example, in America, I don't know the Philadelphia law states, but general, if you come from jail, you lose your right to vote. You can hardly find a job because you have to tell that you were in prison.
Right.
Then you have those terrible. I saw that in your documentary.
Right.
The so-called how you say it, where you have to go after jail. The parole officer. It's like also a terrible situation.
Yeah, it was.
You were talking about that, huh?
Right. It was more than terrible. It was really fucked up. But I mean, the main thing is in Philadelphia, you can vote. In Pennsylvania, you can vote if you have a felony.
Oh, you do?
You can, right. But there are states you can't.
No, I know. Lots of states.
Certainly, right. So, but yeah, when I went to prison at 17, after doing 2 years in juvenile, I never had, I didn't have a high school education. I didn't graduate high school. So, coming home after so long, I didn't, what was I supposed to do for a living, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I was fortunate. I've been fortunate so much that I was introduced to, had a fortunate opportunity, unlikely opportunity to be introduced to a filmmaker who was volunteering coming into the prison.
Can you call his name?
His name's Glenn Holston.
Okay,
Yeah,
Glenn. How you say?
Glenn Holston.
Okay, guys, check him out at the internet.
Yeah, it's on the documentary. So
okay.
So he's on the documentary. So Glenn, I met Glenn, and Glenn basically made his way up to the prison. Sometimes 3 days a week, man, for like almost right at 6 years, just to teach me film, right? To ensure that I was going to have at least a skill going home.
So you were actually very fortunate to meet this guy.
I'm just the most fortunate person that you can talk to.
That's nice to hear.
No, really.
It's good to hear that some people still escape the ghetto.
Oh yeah.
It's a rare, in my opinion, almost a miracle.
No, it literally is. Now,
yes, I know.
You say that probably plainly, but.
Oh, I know. I've been in America.
Oh, yeah, right.
I know what I'm talking about.
It's all seriousness. Is that?
I know. It's like winning the lottery.
It really is.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you for having us. I'm John Kaufman.
I'm very happy to have you guys here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm the co-director of the film,
okay.
And we started working on it in 2011.
Okay.
And finally premiered it last year, 2015.
Okay.
And we never thought we'd be in the Netherlands with the film.
We are very happy you're here, guys.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I grew up in Germantown area.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yeah, tell me.
When I was in Philadelphia, and we walk around Philadelphia, and suddenly, I'm from Europe, as you know, I come in a very, very nice neighborhood. Really, at least I think it was very nice. You know the neighborhood. It's the houses of the 16th, 17th century. It's downtown. It's like almost you are in a different town suddenly. And there suddenly I see Orthodox Jewish people. You know, and I saw a Jewish temple. You know the neighborhood I'm talking about? The old colonial houses in downtown Philadelphia.
Old city?
Yeah, it's near the old city because we were walking by the Love Park.
Yeah, okay.
You don't know this? It's really Jewish neighborhood. I was surprised to see a Jewish temple.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, sorry if this stupid.
No, I don't know. I don't know the area though.
Okay, but you grew up also in Philadelphia.
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your motivation to start to make this movie?
Oh man, I mean I've always been interested in social justice like my whole life. Growing up in Philly, you're just exposed to a lot of stuff. Depends where you grew up, but you're exposed to a lot of things.
You grew up in a middle class, higher class neighborhood?
Mixed. A really weird neighborhood where you have old Victorian houses from the 1800s.
I love those.
But you also have some of those Victorian houses are crack houses. And then some of them are nice families, and some are crack houses. So it's a really weird area, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spent my early years there, but then lived all over the place in the suburbs and in the city.
But you come from a good family? I mean,
with
a good family, a father and mother who took care of you?
Yes.
Because that is also in the ghetto
absolutely.
very rare.
No, I was exposed to a lot, but I never had to suffer.
So you had a good homecoming?
Yes, homecoming was good. Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah. But no, I met Elle in 2007. And I was a college student. I learned filmmaking from him. So
you went to college to make film, or
no? I went there just because that's what you're supposed to do if you're if you know.
What were you studying?
Like sociology, urban studies, the things I was already interested in, right? And then I learned filmmaking from Elle. I saw him teaching a class to kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, in lower class neighborhood?
To neighborhood kids. And that was my first exposure. I said, oh shit, film is a powerful tool. You can do a lot of amazing things. People can get their voices out. And I learned from him. We started teaching together. He hired me to teach, and next thing you know, we're making films together. And then the Department of Justice called one day, and we have this film.
Oh, you made it also with cooperation of the Department of Justice?
Cooperation is an interesting word.
It's a very interesting
Not.
Support.
Yeah.
They gave some money?
Like
a lot, support, yeah.
Well, this helps.
Oh, yeah.
You get my point.
No,
we all think the system is shit, but there are good people in the system.
Well, that's why we're here.
Well, right.
We're here because
otherwise we might as well quit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion. So you worked also a little bit. You got some help from the justice system.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them just basically opening doors. And the whole thing is that there's a federal prosecutor who funded the film. A prosecutor.
You're kidding.
I swear to God. Yeah.
So that's a good human.
That's a good human.
You know how they called it in GDs?
What's that?
Mensch. You never heard of it?
I have heard it. Mensch.
Mensch, you know what it means?
Yeah, good person.
High integrity.
Okay. What's the word in Dutch?
Mens.
Okay.
Yiddish, by the way, is a different subject. Is a lot of mixed German-Dutch, yeah? You knew that?
Yeah.
Some Russian, some German, some Dutch.
Yeah.
I speak a little bit Yiddish.
Nice.
You knew, sorry Horst, I like history. You knew how Amsterdam is called by the Yiddish people before the Second World War?
No.
Mokum. It's Yiddish. Mokum. You know what Mokum means?
No.
The Jerusalem of the North. We had, we had, I'm very into history, especially in also Holocaust. We had, before the Second World War, we had one of the biggest Jewish populations here.
Yeah.
After the Second World, you should go look tomorrow if you're here. The Jewish neighborhood was completely wiped out. Can you believe it? Wiped out. And I have to tell this because I always are really ashamed and frustrated about this fact. 90% of the Jews, guess who put them on transport? You guess. 90% was put on the Dutch police. It's a fact, huh? They got 10 guilders from the Germans for each Jew to put in the plane. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject.
Yeah,
you have something else you want to share with us?
No, that's about it. We're happy to be here. And again, like you said, the point is that there are good people in the government doing stuff. So.
God thank for that.
Yeah.
No, real.
Hey, I'm Arne Halsema, also known as Seven. I'm from Amsterdam actually, so I spent most of my life in Amsterdam, but the last 3.5 years I spent most of my time in Philadelphia. And 2 Dutch French actually were painting in Philadelphia. They're called Haas and Haan.
Oh yeah, it was a good program.
Yes, and they were doing a thing called
Ghetto, eh?
Yes, Philly Painting. That's the project they were doing.
Oh, they did it in Brazil too.
Yes, so that's why they were actually in Philadelphia, because
great project in Brazil too.
You ever heard of another great project is the Mural Arts Program? Have you heard of it?
No, I don't think so.
So Philadelphia offers a lot of murals. It started as an anti-graffiti network.
Okay.
Graffiti, and they have over 2,000 murals, I think, in Philadelphia.
Murals?
Murals. A mural is a large painting on a wall.
Oh, you see, I didn't know this.
All by different artists. So the Dutch guys did the thing in Rio de Janeiro, and they got invited by the Mural Arts Program, and they did a 4-block corridor, huge painting with the people from the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a great project.
It was awesome.
I know about that. It helps the neighborhood get pride back.
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah,
or
there's
looks
a lot
livable.
We actually made a short documentary about it, and while we were doing it,
What's the name of the documentary for our viewers? It's on YouTube or not?
Is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Official.
Okay,
we
it's
actually,
state secret.
It's state secret. But through the process of being with my Dutch guys, I met John Kaufman. Right there on the block.
Kaufman.
John Kaufman.
It's also a German name, by the way. Yeah.
What's with you in Germany?
No, I always like history. I like history. It's funny. You from Holland, he's original from Germany.
Now you know.
Actually, I'm part German, actually.
Oh, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Also part Jewish or not?
No, not part Jewish.
I was born in France. Does that count?
You were born in France?
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know. Everybody has different roots.
Did you bring a baguette for us?
I was 6 months old shipping to that.
Okay, sorry, we interrupt you.
No, I learned, I met those guys. I mean, Al was really important for the project because he was sort of making sure that Geranium Room were safe and helped and introduced to the whole neighborhood, and because they needed the people to paint, and he sort of, he was intermediating that.
Yeah.
He was mediating.
Excuse me, one question. Because he said he took more or less make it for him accessible to the neighborhood. That means you have big influence in the neighborhood.
Oh, yes.
Correct?
Absolutely.
I like to think so.
But
absolutely.
Do you was a member of a gang when you were young?
No, I've never.
How did you survive not being a member of a gang?
In Philly they don't have gangs. There's no
not really?
No.
I thought they had an Irish gang.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's
some
point.
back in the day.
Some.
It's finished. The gangs is finished.
I'm sure they had like.
Now it's more.
I'm sure they had like little things, but yeah.
But it's not like
a thing.
Like in Los Angeles.
It works
differently now.
Yeah, it's more blocks, like a block,
like
a
big
block.
families.
Yeah.
Or street families.
Yeah,
kind of like that.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's a fact to know.
Yeah, but they know that you know that you're part of that neighborhood, but you don't start wearing jackets or bandanas about it.
Right.
But you operate as a group, owning that piece of property. And
Well, that reminds me on the 60s and 70s in the old ghetto neighborhoods in Holland. There were no gangs, but there were like streets.
You had the pipe and you're done,
There were the streets, if you belong to that street, 2-3 streets, that's it, lots of kids. the old days, you know, families with 10 kids. You fight with the other streets.
Yes, yeah.
But no guns, you know, God thanks.
Well, times have changed.
Yeah, times have changed a lot. Okay, you had something else to tell for our viewers?
Well, no, I made the film with those guys. I helped. Well, they were far in completing it, and I kind of helped them the last way.
Yeah, and you guys, I must tell you, the end product is really nice to watch.
Thank you.
And I learned a lot of it. Really, even I did learn a little bit still.
What did you learn?
Well, I learned for one thing that there is still a little bit hope in a situation. I thought especially the last time that you see so many young kids get shot, you know, black lives don't matter. That I think there is no hope, and there is no, you know, progress. Even your documentary is big depressing. It's big depressing.
No, certainly, yeah.
But still, you see, there is hope.
It's real.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
True.
If that depresses you, imagine if living through it would be. You know, so that was kind of the point of the film. Definitely wasn't to depress you. You know, right?
No, but
it was to be
the facts,
real,
the picture,
right.
the life, what the people have to live.
Exactly.
Is making you like, oh.
It should. And that's the whole point. Because
so that's what I learned of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But still, you give a little bit hope.
No, certainly. Yeah.
I see also documentaries that I think there is no hope.
Right.
You understand?
Well, one thing is I want to say that's important because I heard you introducing the movie. The movie is not so much about people being oppressed. It's more about people coming home from prison and how to deal with coming back and how they try not to go back to prison, and what elements are in place that either makes them go back or, you know, what could be done. So it's not so much about oppression, it's more about recidivism.
It makes me depressed.
Oh, it is very depressing, but it's very important
because the under message is who is going to jail.
Right.
It's the minorities and the poor people.
Right.
So that's also already depressing.
Yeah, right.
Because if you're fucking rich, you know, the chance you go to prison is like hardly nothing.
Absolutely.
So there's a little bit in the movie, especially when when you're filming in the street, and I think it was TT making the argument about the students not being harassed by the cops, you know, if they're loitering outside, but when you're hanging around the street corner, you get all these bikers up in your face. So there's a little bit of it.
No, right.
Okay. And finally, but not least, Dirk de Jong, who is in Holland well known as one of the top experts of the so-called Moroccan gangs, and he's also the guy who introduced us to these guys. So maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, so ik ben Jan Dirk de Jong. I'm a criminologist, and as you said, my main topic is youth crime, and in the Netherlands these days, that means a lot of kids of Moroccan descent and other lineages. But the reason I once met you was because I'm also very interested in how life was in our impoverished neighborhoods when the kids were still white.
The white trash kids?
The white trash kids. Actually, you like history. I have for you a Polygoonjournaal uit 47, black and white.
Yeah.
With the kids, you know, and they're talking about, you know, youth running around wild in the streets. But the way it is talked about in this news item was like the news we would have in the cinema back in the day. You go to see a movie and you also saw the news.
No television yet?
Yeah. And they talk about it so empathically, like with Siske de Rat. You know, like, if you see these kids being a nuisance, don't walk by, care for them, you know, correct their behavior, but also pick them up.
Social control.
Yeah, control, but also with
in a good way.
With strong values, like.
Toch wel in de goot.
Amsterdamse jongens en meisjes die door baldadigheid met de politie in aanraking zijn gekomen, worden tegenwoordig op het hoofdbureau ontboden, waar getracht wordt hen weer gevoel voor orde bij te brengen. Van de vele oorzaken der baldadigheid willen wij één belangrijke nader belichten. Elke grote stad kent zijn grauwe, troosteloze buurten, waarin zon en licht nauwelijks toegang hebben. Waarin nauwe straten talloze gezinnen onder evenzeer grauwe en troosteloze omstandigheden leven. In huizen waarin elke kleur en elke vreugde ontbreekt. Waar vader en moeder vaak beiden de gehele dag van huis zijn. Waar een jeugd opgroeit volkomen zonder leiding. Is het dan te verwonderen dat deze jeugd, die geen huiselijkheid kent, haar vertier op straat zoekt? Op straat, waar dit vertier vaak bewust, vaak ook onbewust ontaardt in baldadigheid, of erger nog, in bandeloosheid. Hier ligt voor ons volwassenen allereerst al een preventieve taak. Laten we daar waar we baldadigheid ontmoeten er niet achteloos aan voorbij gaan. Maar laten we de jeugd wijzen op het ongeoorloofde en het ongepaste van haar handelwijze. En doen we dit vooral met begrip. Laten we beseffen dat met deze kinderen in gestichten niets te bereiken is. Deze kinderen moeten leiding hebben. Deze kinderen moeten gegrepen worden. Daarvoor is nodig dat overal in de grote steden meer speelgelegenheid wordt gecreëerd. Daarvoor is nodig dat er meer jeugdleiders komen die zich het lot deze kinderen aantrekken en met ze op uitgaan. Er moet gezorgd worden voor gezonde ontspanning. Deze jeugd mag geen ogenblik de kans krijgen in baldadigheid te vervallen. Zij moet worden bezig gehouden. Nog zijn uw kinderen hier niet bij. Zorg dan ook dat ze hier morgen niet zitten.
Had ik maar iemand om van te houden. Twee zachte armen om me heen.
And if I would say those things that were being said by the youth, I think one generation before you came to the streets, or two generations?
No. What the image you are painting now was until almost the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. But if this journal, like in 47, yes. If I would say that now about what's happening in Zaandam,
they will call you a multicultural idiot, a softie.
And that to me is very interesting. Is how our perspective toward the youth has shifted, not only because, you know, politics shifts, but also because you call me a specialist in Moroccan gang, I don't agree. These kids are born here. These are Amsterdam kids. These are Rotterdam kids. These are Dutch kids. We should not.
I had to say for origin.
I know you have to say it, but
no, I want to make the viewers.
Aware what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. So this is what I do, and I try to spend as much time as I can in the neighborhoods doing my work. So I actually meet the people there, not only the kids, but also the professionals having to deal with the situation. And along this process, this might be a bridge to Pool of Gravity. I know Seven, we grew up a little bit together here in Amsterdam. I went to Philly twice. I was nice enough to meet Elle and John.
Excuse me, you read Dirk also write a book about this subject. What's the name of the book?
Kapot moeilijk, yeah.
What's the name?
Kapot moeilijk.
Kapot moeilijk.
Yeah.
Look into it, guys.
Yeah, you can download it free on the internet, no problem.
Okay.
But the point is that I met them, and of course I already met the neighborhood. We talked about it a little while. It was very impressive to me. But then they showed me the raw footage of the documentary, and already then I knew that this was material that I could use in the Netherlands to open up certain discussions. Because of course it's a different society and all the things that you've been saying about
globalization.
Sure, but the issues at hand, like the toxic environment and the feelings of being left out of society, but also, you know, the way that youth, what they need in their life, how they just want to be important to somebody, and if that's all there is, they're going to be important to the guy on the block, you know. It's so clear in the movie, so I knew immediately if we bring it here and show it to my students, for example, or show it to professionals, we would have a big hit, and we've had a few showings now, and it's already been a big hit, and hopefully it's going to get picked up even more. We can show it in schools and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we wanted to say something?
No.
Okay, I thought I heard a noise. Is that somebody who survived 7 years of jail? I take very serious. Okay, thank you. Well, because
it was 8 years.
Oh boy. Can you change chairs? Anyway, because it's an English program and a lot of expat people from Amsterdam were watching this program. The average Dutch people, in all modesty, know who I am, but because there's also a lot of English people, and probably because this goes also on YouTube, a couple Americans will watch this program. I also will introduce myself a little bit. I was born in the USA. When I was 2 years, came to Holland, and I grew up in what they called in that time a so-called lower class bad neighborhood. In those years it was all white, and they were called in a different way, with the Dutch word, they were called white trash. So it was like, for the Dutch standards, a ghetto. You could not compare it with an American ghetto, not at all. But through this ghetto I came in what the average people would mention in the petty crime, let me put it this way, because the petty crime was actually the behavior of everybody in the neighborhood. It was for us not considered as crime. Everybody was doing it.
And you mean hustling? You mean
all
the
little
tricks
things,
you did, the whoring and snoring?
No, not whoring. Gambling, little breaking in, and later on we did some dealing in house. After all, by coincidence, I became the head of the Happy Family, which had according to the IRS of Holland, a gross turnover each year of 50 million guilders, $25 million a year. We got 2.5 million guilder subsidized from the government. So we were living really, really as kings. Let me make it short. In the underworld, just a few people, in the people's underworld, I call it, by the way. You have also the elite underworld, very successful, the bankers and so on, the politicians. That's the real underworld. Hard to get in. You have to go to Yale and Harvard to get in that underworld. But the ghetto underworld, there are just really, really rare few people who survive and get away with it. So in 1999, also my time came up, and I was shot in front of my house. I got 1 bullet in my liver, 1 in my arm, and I ended up 7 days on intensive care before I was sure to stay alive. That was for me a breaking point. I quit the so-called people underworld.
Killing Fields of Amsterdam, presented by Steve Brown, the notorious so-called drug lord of the Amsterdam-Noir. Theft, smuggling, rip-offs, betrayal, revenge, murder. Steve Brown is one of the few people that still lives to tell you the true story. Drugs, gambling, prostitution. Take a glimpse into the mind of the man that knew both killers and victims in over 40 homicide cases in the Amsterdam underworld.
Kroongetuige Steve Brown bracht de macht in Hoogland voor de moord op Bruinsma achter de tralies.
Brown also escaped an attempt on his life by a professional Balkan assassin.
In de jaren 80 en 90 kan je zeggen dat de bakermat of Killing Fields of Amsterdam op de Amsterdamse-Noir is ontstaan. Turkse en Joegoslavische maffia, de Hollandse penozen en God mag weten wie nog meer hadden hier vrij spel.
Oh, wat mooi!
In een vat zoals dit is André geëindigd na een helse martelpraktijk en vervolgens de pomp ingepleurd. Ik run in die tijd met mijn Chinese vrienden het knoert van een illegaal casino. Prostitutie was eigenlijk maar een bijzaak. Uiteraard met toestemming van de Amsterdamse politie Noir.
Best-selling crime author Steve Brown, once owner of the infamous government-subsidized coffee shops The Happy Family, knew all the notorious gangsters from that time and beyond.
Zonder problemen tonen de Thaise autoriteiten het stoffelijk overschot. Deze keer overleefde Mieren met het niet. De man liep zijn kantoor binnen, zei wat en schoot hem door het hoofd.
This is the forbidden story of corruption, organized crime, vicious notorious murders and treason in Amsterdam on the highest scale. The facts of the underworld that the Dutch government never wants you to know. The Killing Fields of Amsterdam will expose the shocking truth behind the Amsterdam underworld. Presented by Steve Brown.
Underworld. I really tried to get in the elite underworld, but there was no bank who wanted to take me as a banker.
I think that's very strange, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know, and there's no political party who wanted to take me, so I ended up to going to the university. I studied law. After that I wrote 7 books, had a few television programs, so actually I'm also a little bit now in the elite mob world, which is the media. Because don't make a mistake, after the drugs trade, in my opinion, the media is also a kind of drugs. Okay. Yeah, anyway, guys, viewers, now we will talk, we will first see a little movie, which I think is very shocking. It's about John Africa in Philadelphia in 1947, or I'd say the date, right? 1948.
The bombing?
Yes.
84.
Thank you. I'm very bad in date and names, but helps in the people's underworld. In 1984, there was like a razzia in Philadelphia in a black neighborhood.
May 13th, 1985, Philadelphia police officers arrived at the headquarters of the Black liberation group known as MOVE. According to investigators, police arrived with a warrant for the arrest of several MOVE members. The charge? Disorderly conduct. However, MOVE members claim police officers arrived only to eliminate the organization altogether. I spoke with Ramona Africa, one of the two survivors of the 1985 bombing. She says the MOVE headquarters was attacked by the city of Philadelphia.
They decided, you know, they were going to fire rounds. According to them, they fired over 10,000 rounds of bullets in there within the first 90 minutes.
Moments later, seen high in the sky from this NBC video used later as evidence in court, a state police helicopter dropped a bomb on MOVE's headquarters, obliterating their row house and destroying 60 other homes and the inferno that followed. In the end, 11 members were killed, including MOVE's leader, John Africa, 5 other adults, and 5 children under the age of 13. So why was their headquarters targeted?
Because of MOVE's position in defense of life and in opposition to anything that goes against life, meaning anything that poisons, pollutes, maims, kills, enslaves, exploits life on any level. This system wants to exterminate us. They want to get rid of us because they don't have any intention. Those that are running this system have no intention of doing the right thing.
Believe me, the authorities, the government, the system know that MOVE, what the MOVE is about. They know that MOVE is truthful. They know that MOVE is consistent and committed. They know this. So they don't want people to be committed like MOVE. They don't want people to believe like MOVE, because to believe like MOVE is to take away from them. It's to expose them. They don't want that. They don't want people to wake up to what this system is doing to people every day, every minute of the day.
MOVE was targeted for the same reason Martin Luther King was targeted, for the same reason Malcolm X was targeted. We're talking about doing something different than what they have, you know, on their schedule. And they don't want to see different because they want to keep raping the world of the oil and the industry, all of the gold and the diamonds, and they want to keep raping the people and keep people slaves, and they want to keep people messed up. And anybody that, you know, wakes up to the consciousness of it, they want to put you back to sleep. And if that means kill you, drop a bomb on you, put your people in prison, silence you, torture you, harass your family, whatever, they are in it for the long haul. And they are willing to go through whatever is necessary, even sacrifice their own. They will even give you a black president so that they can accomplish their mission. Just like they gave MOVE, gave the city of Philadelphia a black mayor to use him to drop the bomb on MOVE. I mean, they will go through any length to do what they're trying to do to accomplish their mission.
While MOVE still believes they were scrutinized and targeted by law enforcement for their political movement, MOVE continues its mission of exposing what they say is a flawed government system. In addition, MOVE is fighting for the release of the MOVE 9 out of the remaining 7. 3 are up for parole in May of 2016. In Washington, Ashley Banks, RT.
After that terrible deed of the Philadelphia, very, very corrupt police at that time, and maybe it still is, I don't know, they started a movement. It's called Move On, and it was the leader of this movement was John Africa. So we're going to look a little picture so that we'll explain you where he stands for.
If the city does try to come in here and get you out, what are you going to do?
We're going to do what's necessary, man.
What is that?
But first, understand why he's coming in here.
What are you going to do?
All right, we're going to do what's necessary.
What is that?
The strategy of John Africa.
What is that?
Our only defense.
What is that?
The strategy of John Africa.
You aren't telling me anything. You're just saying the strategy.
Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategy to you.
Studying strategies of John Africa. Where I'm from, you a jack boy or a trafficker. Probably end up locked up in Attica. Cause they consider people like me radical. They say I'm an animal, the Hannibal Lecter, cause I get them people lectures. Yes sir, I'm a threat sir. Give me liberty, give me death sir. Just me and my Mossberg. You can see the pain in my eyes and they bloodshot red cause I'm hot. Tired of the lies that you feed us, mislead us. Supposed to protect and serve, but you just mistreat us. If you kill my brother, paid vacation. But if I kill your partner, lethal vaccination. If I kill your dog, I get the same shit. Shit. Now ain't that about a bitch? Literally about a bitch. Tryna lock me in a box, but I'ma get up out of it. Letting every bullet out the clip until I'm out of it. They say I'm out of it. They say my mind gone. They say I'm trouble, say doubles a ticking time bomb. They got me all wrong. Misunderstood. Just cause I'm hood, they assume I'm up to no good. They wanna see me in that chalk outline, cause I speak my mind. Free Mumia and the move now. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you.
The revolution will be televised. Blowing chocolate tide in the vanilla skies. The Bill of Rights is just a bill of lies. Know your rights is only right, you gotta stand your ground. System of corruption, I would never trust it. Motherfucking consequences has its repercussions. I'm disgusted, no justice, when will it ever change? Feeling drained, want the world to feel a nigga pain. Time changed, so I went and got another gun. Fight the power, you public enemy number one. Never die a coward, never catch me on the run. The misery in Missouri, shout out to Ferguson. We getting ready, boy, we dressing up. Studying strategies and methods, boy, I'm stepping up. Curiosity kills, they wanna question us. I'm on the move, long live John Africa.
Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you. No disrespect to the move, I'm just trying to spread the news that the system's all wrong and it's designed for us to lose. Designed to keep confused, designed to keep amused, designed to hide the proof cause it's designed to hide the truth. They manipulate your views and they dumbing down the schools. They keep passing all these laws but never tell you all the rules. They got the people fooled, they don't even got a clue. You know nothing about them but they know everything about you. See, everything's not true, better watch what you believe. Better stop believing everything you watch on the TV. If this the land of the free, contradictions all I see. When half of the population's in the penitentiary. See, now they teaching sex in elementary. Keep it real, you think that shit is a necessity? Is you gon' ride, is you gon' side with the enemy? Keep the move alive, John Africa, rest in peace. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Strategies of John Africa. Hey, I wouldn't tell my strategies to you.
Guys, this was the documentary or a little intro of John Africa, and I would like to talk with you, as you are from America, over the general situation of the black people in America, but also, in my opinion, the Hispanic people, the white trash people, actually, in general, the poor people. Then, if you want to share your view, because I'm a great admirer of Malcolm X, also the Black Panthers, What is your opinion about the black movement? Where is the black movement standing at this time and point? And maybe you want to tell shine your light. Did Obama make a difference?
It's a lot of questions.
Yeah. Well, answer one or whatever, or tell what you want to share with my viewers. You can say also something, whatever you want. Is there some special message?
Let me just say, I think it's so weird. And there's a lot of questions, but it's so weird just to try to explain, like, you know, a condition of I think it's weird, and at the same time I think it's a bit necessary too, right? To try to explain to you and you know and your viewers about the condition of black people in the U.S., right? It's necessary because I think although people hear it and say, you know, Black Lives Matter and all this kind of stuff, I think it kind of gets muted a little bit because they don't truly understand, like, how vicious or you know, I don't know how to say vicious, but vicious, or just like the kind of conditions of just being like as hopeless as it is. That's what you're talking about. Like, if you see Pull of Gravity, like the idea literally, people thinks it's like a little bit, you know, dramatic, but it's literally, you know,
what's puzzling
really
me,
harsh.
you know what me puzzles, it is also after seeing your documentary, but of course I've seen so many of those stories. Like you said, it makes you mute. But I wonder what is going on in the American system that they buy an air carrier, 7 billion. They go to Iraq, 100 billion. They go to Afghanistan, 300 billion. But why they don't fix their own social problems in the ghetto? If I look at the average life of a poor guy, white poor guy is bad, but black poor guy is more bad.
Way more bad.
Yeah, I know that. Then I think, and it's not like 1 day or 1 month, it's fucking, excuse me, it's since the 80s.
Right.
What is going on that, first of all, the American people stand for that.
I like to say since the 80s because I can't remember where
it's longer. It's longer, actually.
It's never been good.
Yeah, I know, but I think we had a revival with the hippie time, the social, Jewish people very tough fighting for the blacks in the 60s and the 70s. I forgot the legal, they have a special name, the legal something.
I forget, yeah.
You know, the 3 Jewish guys get killed when they went to Mississippi. They were really fighting for the rights of the blacks. Cassius Clay, not great guy, fought for the rights. But it looks like it goes backwards.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I agree. And I have no idea what is going on in the States that the people stand for that. Even the middle class people.
It's just no education in the fact of like being powerless and or hopeless.
Yes.
Feeling hopeless and feeling okay with just a little bit. So it isn't until you get a chance.
Awareness?
Awareness, but it's not until you get a chance to actually see outside of that, right? Because, you know, being in that, you can't see, you know, the forest and the trees, right? And as soon as you come to somewhere like Holland, right? Or you go to, it's like shocking and just sad as shit. Like, you know, I gotta tell you, when you're talking about like, you know, it's, you know, made you kind of sad, or I forget what the word you used.
Depressed. Big time.
And that's how
it is. You feel. Yeah, you feel like, oh, it's joke.
Because it makes me feel like, you know, the idea is like, I know, you know, if you look at, you know, any, like you was talking about the media, you're talking about anything like that, certainly, like, you know, black people are depicted as the worst and always has been.
Yeah, big under.
Always has been, and it's no wonder why people have this misconception of whatever it is. But it just, you know, and you know, it isn't until like we're walking on the street and just seeing like things function appropriatly, right? Until you see that.
And I even think it's bad in Amsterdam.
Look, if you know,
racism. I'm not kidding. Can you believe it?
Oh no, I'm sure. I wasn't referring to racism. I wasn't referring to racism because I can't speak racism. I'm saying I was referring to just straight up living conditions. You started mentioning about like, you know, the U.S. sending money all over the world, but then not fixing infrastructure there. That's what I was kind of speaking about. But like, you know, and then the general infrastructure is fucked up.
I know.
The poor communities are
incredible.
Are just incredible.
I've been in Detroit for ice hockey, my son. And I was in the suburban, I never forget. And then I said in the suburban, because like I said, I like history, want to see old buildings. So I said to the girl in the reception, I want to go downtown Detroit. Can you show me the road? She said, downtown Detroit? You're a white guy, me. So you cannot go there. First of all, there's nothing. It's terrible. Nothing to see. I say to my wife, I cannot believe this. So we are going downtown Detroit. I never forget. So we drove like 45 minutes from the suburb, close to Detroit, to downtown Detroit. And I was driving in a war zone. Not really. All the buildings burned down. I see people walking on the street with zombie eyes, all black of course, like no hope, no light. Then we came downtown, big buildings there, the big high sky buildings, all empty. It was like a ghost town in Africa. And that's the USA. I was shocked. And you know, that's America. People have no future there, the black people. And it's not only in Detroit.
Oh, no. It's not only in Detroit. And it's fucked up. It really is.
You know, because also I like to hear your, from anybody of you guys, maybe you heard the figure of Chicago. There are now already, the death toll of killed black kids is 500 this year. You heard its figure? Was on the news in Holland, which was more than the last 5 years soldiers died in Afghanistan and Iraq together. Only in Chicago. How is that?
Why is that okay? Why is that? How is that
even possible?
Tolerated?
That's what I don't.
There's something called the gun lobby, which is fucking powerful as fuck. So, and there's a lot of lobbies in the United States, and that's why shit is how it is. Yeah. Like it's all money. There's money. There's money pushing things. Like President Obama has tried so hard to get any kind of gun control.
I don't think we will ever see anything like him again.
You think he's good?
I think he's the shit.
I don't think he's good. So I'd like to know. I like to hear from the people who live there.
And he met him,
and he was the first.
Was the best.
I like to hear from people that I'm wrong. Tell me please about him. Yeah, tell me.
Right.
So you think he's a great guy?
You met him. How about that?
You met him.
No, because I'm disappointed in him. When he came, black guy, now something changed.
Right. He's doing stuff now. In the past 6 months, he's
a good guy with a good
exonerated over probably 200, 300 federal inmates have gotten out of prison.
I read about that. 3,000 already.
And more than that, something like that.
Oh no, the last month he released 3,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I read about that.
So no other president has ever done that. No other sitting president has ever visited a prison. He went to visit a federal prison. No other president has ever came and met with ex-offenders face to face.
Well, it's good to hear from people not censored by the mainstream media, guys like you, because I think that Obama was unpolite bullshit. And Uncle Tom. You know what Uncle Tom is? Slang?
We don't use that word where we're from.
Right.
You don't use Uncle Tom?
I don't use that word.
Yeah. But you know what it means?
I'm aware of what it means, yeah.
Slang for the black man served to the white man?
I know what it means, yeah.
No, certainly. And I think that position is what it is, right? It's whatever, right?
But he's a good guy.
I'm
glad to hear this.
But all I'm saying is this. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. Okay. Until Michelle Obama, obviously.
Well, I'm glad. Actually, I'm glad to hear that. There are two. He's a great speaker.
No, he's amazing.
He's very intelligent, and his wife too. That but I was disappointed. I thought, why is the
what did you expect of him?
He's not a dictator.
Yeah.
What
did you expect to make the difference?
But what he made difference?
Yeah, I didn't know. So I'm glad I got
corrected by
the guys in America.
He can't get anything done because of the Congress and the Senate.
He's just the president. I mean, he cannot say everything changed, now everybody changed.
Well, something changed. You changed my opinion.
No, right. I hear
Obama.
I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
I hear what you're saying. But in your opinion, who is the best American president?
Roosevelt.
Which one?
The one in the Second World War with the Great Deal. The Roosevelt, the Big Deal.
New Deal.
The New Deal. Yeah. I thought he was the best president for the common man at that time. But I never studied what he did for the black people.
Well, let's talk about that part.
Yeah,
he did. I feel him coming. Make America great again. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Only white, make white great.
Right, and that's what it comes down to. But think about what President Obama he's dealing with, like the idea of not only being the first black president, but like having that that pressure of, Roosevelt didn't have the pressure of, having
he was
that,
Republican,
right? Whatever he was. I mean,
he had the big money behind him.
Or whatever. I'm just saying, like, based off of what the pressures was and what was his task at hand, I mean, to do, like, we're talking about from gay rights and like, we're talking about, marijuana convictions and drug offenses and the push he's trying with all the gun lobby and stuff. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
Education.
Right.
Healthcare reform. We still have shit healthcare, but he pushed that.
He does his best.
Forward.
Actually,
he has like 20 million Americans that have healthcare that didn't have it last year.
Right.
I mean, that means something, even though we still have shit
big deal.
healthcare.
But for us in Europe, we think, what the fuck? Everybody got it.
Yeah, right.
In Canada too, eh?
But think about how big of a deal that is. If no one has it there and it's expensive, and it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, any impact on healthcare is good. And he pushed 20 million more people with healthcare.
Okay, somebody has. We'll wrap it up. If you want to say something more.
You looked up something?
Yeah. No, I have actually 12 points of Obama's achievements in my phone for some reason.
Please tell them.
Yeah?
Share it with us.
Obama's achievements. The Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act makes it illegal for employers to pay an equal wages to men and women who perform equal work. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act provided hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure, research, and job creation. Saved the American auto industry and its hundreds of thousands of jobs from disappearing by preventing Chrysler and GM from going bankrupt. The Credit Card Bill of Rights outlaws hidden fees and deceptive lending practices from credit card companies. The Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal Act allows gay soldiers to serve openly in the United States military. Student loan reform significantly expands access to affordable government loans until grants for college. The Affordable Care Act will establish universal health care for the first time in the history of the United States. Remove all combat troops from Iraq. Children health insurance Authorization Act provides health care to 11 million children who live in poverty. Created restrictions on Wall Street policy to prevent a new economic crisis. He killed Osama bin Laden, if that's a thing we're proud of.
Well, I don't think. I think you could be proud of that.
And the last thing is the Food Safety Modernized Asian Act. For the first time, gets the FDA a mandate to prevent rather than simply respond to contamination of the food supply.
Okay, well, one thing, this meeting with the guys from Philadelphia, I must admit, they have changed a little bit my view, which is very rare. I didn't have to respect at all for Obama. I thought he did shit, but it changed my view. If people from the street telling me he's a good president, he must be doing something good. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Everybody look up at YouTube or buy it. Pull of Gravity. It's really impressive, and I can tell you, really, it's worthwhile your time. And guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It was an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
You were sent by Obama?
Yeah, and next time.
Anyway, I'm very happy they're not sent by the Bloods or the Crips.
Not this time.
Hey, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
It was, likewise.
Yes. We're going to smoke a cigarette now.
De stem van de straat.
Iedereen moet aan het woord komen. De uitzending zou dan vrijdag zijn.
Of donderdag. Dit is dus de stem van de straat, dus de voeten uit. 2 mensen komen aan het woord en die zijn het nu al niet met elkaar eens. Ik ken niet meer. Ik ken niet meer.
Kijk, daar is de nummer 1. Schat.
de BTW af.
Nee.